My name is Erna, like the fat politician woman. Erna Söberg.
Erna. But actually that doesn't matter now because I'm an artist. And you know, I usually want what I don't have. Like, you know, I always wanted to have curly hair. I wanted to have glasses and crooked teeth so I could have braces. But my sister got all of that. Curly hair and very goofy teeth. But I'm going to continue with my story. This is part 4. I have like a thing on the internet, like a website. It's ernaeinasdottir.com. And if you want to know the previous parts of the story, you can go on the internet. But it's like a really long acid trip. So, maybe you like it, I don't know. But this is part 4. They're gonna stay in that village with the pavements for a couple of years. And the girl now, she's walking and everything. She's sent to his kindergarten. And she hates it. And she's still so little that she cries until she gets blue in the face. Some people can say she's frek. I don't know the English word for being frek. When you don't get what you want. And she actually cried so much that she lost her breath and got blue in the face. So her mom had to take her from the kindergarten and send her to this woman who was taking care of kids at home. And she ran away from there. And you know, she ran to her house and she was desperate to call somebody, but she had never called anybody before. So she was holding the phone and just picking on it and just thought that somebody would be on the other line that she knew. But that does not work like that. So she was just crying with the phone. But, you know, eventually she had to go back and get picked up by her mom. And, you know, she lived in this house. I'm not going to really talk about the dad yet. Or I'm not going to talk about the other person that the woman gave birth, which is the sibling of the girl I'm talking about. Because she doesn't really remember that little girl in the beginning. Except that she would steal her snutta, you know, the thing you suck on. She was addicted to it until she was 6. And they would make all kinds of lies to try to take, you know, she's okay, in the future she's going to be an addict. So that was her first thing, you know, the snutta. And, you know, everybody was trying to, like, hey, you're so big now, you should not be sucking on that thing. So of course you have to try to keep it secret, like every other alcoholic. If she was hiding it everywhere and sucking on it in secret, and, you know. And then they were like, okay, let's go and give the dutta to the fishes. See, the girl put all the duttas in a bag and walked behind her mom to the harbor, but of course took one dutta and put it in the pocket. And happily gave the fishes all the duttas because she had one in the pocket, you know. Very smart girl she was, yes. And then she went home and was sucking on it. And then one day she came home from school and she was like, and she went straight under the pillow, put it into her mouth, and this disgusting flavor came into her mouth. And the woman said, well, when you're so old and you're sucking on these things, flies come and poop in it.
she was so sad, you know. What now? You know, only 3 years later she started smoking. It's all because of that. You know? And when the woman said, "Why are you smoking? You're 9. And she said, "I'm just trying it. Can they just see if it's working for me? Jesus."
But she quit when she was 11. So, you know, she started again when she was 13. When it was back being cool, you know. She was very young. But, you know, she was still a baby, and she went to the other side of the road and asked this girl she met in the hospital when she was, you know, when she had the brain fever. I told you about that in part 3. She had brain fever, and the other girl had, you know, diabetes, and she almost died as well. So they had like this survival thing in common. They never talked about it though, you know. It was like they were 3, but they were so good friends. They called themselves
E.T.
You know.
E.T. go home.
And they were such good friends. They had like invisible glue they would put in the palm, and they were just stuck together. And they were the normal ones.
Everyone else
Was an alien. So it's very hard to live in a little village with the
pavements, because they were the only ones that knew. The girl had like long hair with like, you know, Pippi Longström, Lina Langsokkur in my country. So she had this here, and
Freckles everywhere. And she would bite people.
if they were doing something wrong, like.
But yeah, they were very good friends. They even cut themselves and like mixed the blood, like friends forever kind of thing. And you know, in the future, this girl, she dies of diabetes, but the other one, she survived life. She's still like alive, you know. But yeah, she had a very cool, they had one friend.
They were always like 3, but it was very difficult to be 3. They would train themselves, you know, to run away from her, because she had such a weird cry, you know, to make her cry. And then she would go and get her brother to cry with her, and they would walk around crying, and the 2 E.T. girls were like laughing
about it. And then Karma hit the girl.
because she was practicing to jump over fences, but she didn't somehow jump, and she jumped like, she went on the fence and her tooth went through the lip. Karma! So, but you know, the childhood in the little village with the pavements was very exciting, you know.
There was a lot of things. There's no trees, because the sea is so salty and everything would just die. And there was a lot of mossa and stones. And then there was like this crazy blue water in the stones, where a lot of people from foreign countries come and pay a lot of money to dip their bodies in it and smear their faces.
At time, my little village got a lot of money from it. Still is. So, that's very good for part 4. I'm going to tell you more in part 5. So, thank you very much for listening.